It varied from the sublime to the ridiculous. People, okay, the problem was that pre-performance and post, there was a lot of publicity. It was a photographer's dream. So when they would come for pre-stories, click, 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 so huge colored photographs in Straits Times, The Star, just huge, before the show and in the reviews. So even before the show, people were like, what is going on here? So the responses started before the show, you know, and I tell some of these stories in Ghostan, like literally Janet's father asking me, Uncle James is reading newspaper, and without, you know, I come in and say good morning, and without dropping his newspaper, he goes, so I see you're bathing in public these days. And, you know, then like, oh, no, uncle, what do you mean? You know, coming out of an urn, and I go, oh, no. And then I go, yeah, uncle, trying to, very embarrassed, right? Trying to make art. And then he goes, that's why. You and Janet, I don't know what you all are doing. Art, what art, you know. So the show hadn't even happened. But the latest story, in fact, one of the very amazing stories. So, diagnosed with breast cancer, July 2019, go to see the surgeon, okay, go for biopsy, whatever. Second time, go to see the surgeon to schedule the operation. I'm with Anne. And she says, and your husband was Kushingit. I said, yes. She said, oh, yeah, I knew of him. You know, I was in UM in the 80s. So I go, oh, you were in UM in the 80s. And I did a lot of shows in the experimental theatre in the 80s, you know, maybe you've seen my shows. So Anne is sitting in front of her, and I'm sitting. So she looks at Anne, she looks at me, she looks at her computer. Were you the one who came out of a large water jar? And I went, huh? You saw the urn piece in 1988? Oh my God, I mean, you know, what are the chances? Then she looks at Anne. She's a very matter-of-fact, rough diamond kind of person. She looks at Anne and she says, were you in that too? And Anne said, no, I wasn't in that one, but I was in all the future iterations of the piece. And I'm sitting there like, huh? She said, yeah, I didn't know what was going on, but you know, it sure stuck with me. So the response was like that lah. People thought it was beautiful. People thought it was bizarre. People asked, is this dance? People thought it was really ugly. People thought it was refugees from India. One person thought it was 3 people masturbating on stage. I said, you should be so lucky that we would do this in front of an audience. You know, there's one part where the 3 bodies lie on top of each other, and it's very evocative and it's very sensuous, thank you. So the good thing was there was this reaction upon reaction upon reaction, good, bad and ugly, you know. Yeah, I think works become iconic not because the maker says, I'm going to make an iconic work. At least not in the case of One Piece. When we were making it, we had no idea we were making an iconic work. We had no idea exactly what we were making. We were playing, we were experimenting, and we allowed our own truths and our own bodies and senses and the environment and everything to inform the work. But I think works become iconic when the community then takes it and reacts and talks about it and re-talks about it, and then somebody does research on it and does a thesis on it and so on and so forth, and then after a while somebody somewhere says, oh, that is an iconic work, or that was a seminal moment, you know. So I think for Earn Peace it was not iconic overnight. I don't think so. Maybe some people did. I think every work changes me. You make the work, and normally my processes are very long. So it sits with you for so long. You make the work, and also normally once I enter theatre, it's over for me. I'm bored. I'm not excited by the staging. I have been fed by the process, and then it's after that it's like have to do lah. You finish the work, you bunkus the work, and then it sits with you, right? And I don't make work fast. If you look at the dates, and like 81, 82 was the solo, and then 84, and then 88 was every 2 years for a while. Then there was a big 6-year gap or something, and then I said, let me speak, you know. So it takes a long time. I don't churn them out. So then they sit with you. And how does it change me? I think it somehow or other informs the next work. And again, if you analyze the works, you can see how play then came into playground, and how, you know, things moved to looser and looser and looser, the evolution. So to go back to the urn piece, there is a visceral quality about the urn piece. That wetness is something which is very, very deep and very beautiful and profound, and it's great to do. This one you must ask Anne, actually. Anne talks about it. It's like you get into that urn, and it's like your home, you know, and you really don't want to come out, actually. You're safe, you're home, you're wet, you're cold. But the possibilities for when you come out, like tiba-tiba there's a kata, there was a frog in the surprises. I think that is probably, urn piece is the piece that gives so much more magic to the performer than many other pieces. And that is that visceral quality, especially if you do it outside. Urn, water, sack, earth. Very powerful.